Okay, another Culinary Works Classics coming your way. I almost am like, oh my God, like I don't know if I can give this one away. This is the molten chocolate cakes, which actually, thank God, I don't eat them all. I mean, look, I will tell you, these things are amazing. I mean, we've served so many of them from like private parties to corporate parties, like so much, right? Mm-hmm. I mean, they're so good, but you know what? They're worth it. I really want to share these with you guys because I feel like they're such a great recipe, and you can, make like triple batches and serve them for like 20 people. So it really works out really well. Okay, so let me just kind of give you the lay of the land here so you get an understanding of the ingredients that we have first. Okay, so good quality chocolate. A lot of times, in my classes, I use Scharfenberger chocolate, which is really higher quality chocolate. But actually today we're just using Ghirardelli, which you can find at most grocery stores. The Ghirardelli here, I do like to mix too. So this is like half bittersweet and half semi-sweet because it kind of gives you that, I think, like kind of that happy medium. Espresso powder. Anytime you have chocolate, espresso powder works really well because it kind of heightens the flavor. Vanilla extract, butter, of course, right? Whole eggs and egg yolks, whole eggs, egg yolks. A little bit of flour, and we've done this successfully with gluten-free flour too, so you can use that as well. Sugar. Okay, so one really cool thing about this, so you don't feel like this is a muffin tin here, so the other one is right here. So it's a muffin tin that we cut up into individual tins, and then with each tin, what you're gonna do is take your butter, and then, with your fingers, this is definitely like something the kids could do, but you have to make sure that it's buttered really well, or else the cakes won't kind of fall, come out. So lots of butter all over the place. A little bit of flour here. And then just make sure that, the flour kind of gets everywhere. Because with the flour, that's obviously so the tins so it doesn't stick. So, see, buttered and floured, okay? So that's the important part. Okay, so let me just get rid of this right here. Okay, so we're done with that. Okay. All right, so now, moving on here, I'm going to turn on my burner because we're going to start to melt the chocolate and the butter. And in this situation, you do not need to use a double boiler because you're melting the chocolate and the butter together. If you were melting just the chocolate alone, then you would need to use a double boiler. But when you're adding butter to it, you don't have to. This is salted butter. Honestly, I mean, I'm not a huge baker, as you guys probably already know, because if you follow me, I don't do a lot of sweets. So I don't really care too much about the, butter and the being salted or unsalted. So actually, salt is really important in desserts. So, all right, so we're gonna let this kind of just slowly melt on its own. There's no rush in this process here because you don't want to burn the chocolate, so you're just going to let it take its time there. All right, so we're going to move on to the eggs here. Now, it's amazing sometimes in the events and classes that I do, sometimes people don't know how to separate an egg. It kind of makes me chuckle. I'm like, oh God, I just laugh. So anyway, so that's 2 whole eggs. We're doing just half the recipe today, but I'm giving you the recipe. It can make like 8 to 10 people. Okay, so this is just going to be the egg yolk here. So with that, the real way to do this, you can certainly go like this shell to shell here, okay? Shell to shell. But I learned from a pastry chef, years ago, the real way is to take your fingers just like this, back and forth. Okay, so back and forth, so all the white has, already come off my hands there. That was from back in the day when I used to work at the Good Food Store in Darien. Does anybody remember that place who's kind of around here? There goes the white, there goes the white. Keep going, back and forth. Okay, clean yolk right there. All right, there we go. Let's turn that down a little bit. Here I talk about not rushing the process and like it's boiling over here. Okay, let me just give this a little stir here. And then what we're going to do is we are going to stir together here the yolks, and the whole eggs and sugar. Now, if you're doing this with, say, you know, a lot, like if you're making a lot of it, then you can certainly go ahead and use a mixer. But with this, we're going to go ahead and just use our hands. Little mini workout here. Because what you want is you want to create some volume. You want these colored yolks to get a little lighter in color, so that means you've added a lot more air. All right. We got to kind of keep going here. You can see, I'm going to get out of breath. All right. Wait, I'm going to get a better grip. But I have to switch arms here. Oh, okay. Chocolate looks good. Let me give that a stir. I'm multitasking. Women are good at multitasking. Okay, let's see. Looks good. Keep going. Okay. Ooh, yep. All right, so looks pretty good. See how it looks lighter in color, right? So mix, 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 mix. Okay. So when you come to my classes and events, I make you work. This is like a job for some of the clients when they're, you know, mid-class. Okay. So I think that looks great. Looks lighter in color, had a little air to it. Okay, so now in this, we're going to add a teaspoon of vanilla and a teaspoon of the espresso powder. Like I had mentioned to you, the espresso powder just makes the chocolate taste a lot richer. It's not something you can really recognize, but it just has great flavor. This is almost empty, so I'm assuming, yeah, that's a teaspoon there, so we're good there. You know, Miss Baker that I am, I'm not a super measurer, right? Okay, so this is almost done. I'm just going to give this another minute here. And then what's going to happen is we're going to slowly add this to the chocolate, and that's called tempering. If this chocolate was really hot, like almost boiling, and we added all of it at once to the kind of egg mixture here, what could happen, right? What do you think? It would scramble the eggs, so we don't want to do that. Okay, so put our whisk down here. This is nice and homogeneous, so we're going to add a little bit at a time here. Okay, now I'm going to mix this quick. Woo, here we go. So we're tempering. Fancy word for bakers, tempering, right? So temper. So it's like cool, calm, and collected, right? A cool temper. Okay, so a little bit more. All right. I'm going to add the rest. I'm going to have to get a little spatula here. Get the rest of this out. It smells so good. Just saying. Like, I mean, how can that not smell good, right? Butter and chocolate. Oh, yummy, yummy, yummy. All right, so little spatula here so we can kind of get the rest of this in here. All right. Smell good, right? Can you smell it?
So yummy.
Yeah, so yummy. Okay. Yeah, so as many times as I've served these, I typically don't eat them because if I were to eat one of the many chocolate cakes that I've served, yeah, it could be a little bit of an issue. Okay, so flour's gonna go in. All that big hopping amount of flour, I know that's such a little bit, but flour goes in, mix it up. Okay, now the other really important thing here is that with this particular recipe here, now let's say, you know, we have the transfer here, so we're gonna have to transfer, you know, everything to the cups here. The easiest thing to do, honestly, is just to put this in like a glass measuring cup and transfer it that way. Like some kind of pitcher, if you're doing a large amount, you could use some kind of pitcher, you know, or a smaller amount like I'm gonna do. We're just gonna use like a glass measuring cup, like right here. Like, so this, for example, right, so I'll show you. It's so much easier. Now, the other thing is these things freeze beautifully. So you could freeze them right in the molds. Okay, so look here. You can fill it however much you want. These really don't rise a lot, okay? So that's about like 3/4, I would say. A little bit more on this one. Okay, so that's good. Can't believe I'm giving you guys this recipe. It's all right, all good. Okay, so now these will bake at 425, and these particular shells here, this you know, these tinfoil molds, like 7 minutes, 8 minutes, you know, like there's always a little bit of ambiguity between, you know, like my oven, your oven. So don't worry about that. I'll show you when they're baking. Like basically what you want is a little bit of an indentation when you take them out. Anyway, so how easy was that? So quick, right? Not that hard. So I'd love you guys to try this. We will be back in a little while when we go ahead and bake them in the oven and show you how we garnish it and all that good stuff. But wait, let me just kind of like do that. It's good. We are ready to put in the molten cakes, this great recipe that I've shared with you. We're just going to cook 2 right now, but it doesn't matter. It's the same as you would cook, you know, any like 10, so it's not really a difference. The oven's at 425, and it's on convection, so I brought it down from 450 to 425 when it's on convection, and we're going to stick them in, and they should really only take about 6 to 8 minutes, especially because they're in this tin here. If you were using like ramekins that are, you know, ceramic, they might take a little bit longer for sure. So you'll be closer to, you know, maybe 8 to 9 minutes. But let's put them in, and then I will show you as soon as they come out so you can get a sense. Okay, look what I have here. Who's ready for dessert? I mean, I just have to say these are just kind of irresistible here. So, okay, here's one of the cakes here. Looks really yummy. I'm gonna flip it out. Oh, that's when you know that it was well buttered, so we did a good job there. A couple little raspberries here. Hold on. Push this a little closer. I'm gonna add a couple raspberries. Sometimes at work I would do like a raspberry sauce, and I'll actually give you the recipe for the raspberry sauce as well, just so you have that, because that's another really kind of yummy thing to serve with this. I think it kind of balances out the you know, the richness of the chocolate. You know, kind of get that little tang of the a couple more of these here so you get a real good sense. And let's just cut into one here. I'm doing this for you guys. I'm taking one for the team here. I'm gonna have a bite. Okay. No, they're so good. It's not like I haven't eaten them. So, oh, I mean, look, right? Look at that chocolate there. Just kind of like oozing away, right? I mean, I think that's a picture right there. And they have to take that picture. That'll be like a good little preview picture, right? Preview picture, there it is. Looks really yummy. Odd numbers for the berries. All right, you guys, this is delicious. Give it a try.